Yep, we have lots and lots and lots of snow. It's not super nice because it's kind of very heavy and wet. And in fact our entire village is without electricity at the moment at all, which is quite fun, including like no 3G or nothing. So yeah, we're back to basics, and I'm out here on my HOKS, which are the perfect sort of transport for this kind of snow. What I did was I made sure that there's some de-icing goop on the skins, and got them nicely waxed up so the snow doesn't stick. But if you can imagine this in snowshoes, it would just be horrible, because it's really heavy, and actually quite deep also. So yeah, instead of getting massive cabin fever, just go out. Also trying out this Gorka mountain suit here, because this is probably the hardest conditions. I mean, if it's really cold, then you just need protection from the wind. But this is also kind of wet, and so that makes for quite tough conditions. And yeah, up to now I'm very comfortable, and let's just see how it goes. Look at this awesome, awesome landscape. That's the cool thing. Nobody else is out in this. Y'all think I'm nuts. Yep, definitely nice out here today. So these HOKS, they are kind of like snowshoes and kind of like skis. You see I've got my soft boots on. They have a skin fixed underneath permanently, but it's a bit set back. But obviously this binding is pretty soft, so it does require a bit of getting used to in terms of making turns and stuff. So even down these little hills like this, just a matter of standing on the skis. Maybe you put your hands on your knees, definitely take your thumbs out of your poles in case you take a tumble. But you know, you're going slow, so it really doesn't matter. Just get nice and crouched down. You're not going to get hurt, so just go for it. You know, it's part of the fun. Commit to taking 10 falls, and then you won't be worried about it. It's certainly very beautiful today out here. Yeah. Yep, just notice. Wow, look at this super nice meadow here. Whee! Totally virgin. Awesome. So a thing that's really important in the winter is to make sure you don't overheat. Ironic, but true. So if you find yourself sweating, you need to either slow down or take a break or do something about your clothing, because what you don't want is to get all wet and then have to stop and then not be able to get warm again. So 70% rule, really strict in this weather. Also what I sometimes do, and certainly what I do when it's more strenuous, wouldn't normally do it now, is to do 50 minutes, 50, of movement at 70%, and then actually really stop for 5 to 10 minutes, or basically as long as it takes for me to cool down. And the reason I do that is, first of all, that's when you want to eat and drink if you're on a long day, but also just to let yourself cool down, and actually to just notice, because you know, when it's a bit stronger weather where you have to pay attention to it, or maybe it's like this, it's easy to get lost in the slog and the grr of it all. But you're actually in this amazing environment, and I think it's worthwhile stopping and looking around once in a while for that. And then we can move on. Great flotation on these things. Marvelous. Pretty nice. Pretty nice. Yeah. So one of the things that's really great about these hawks is that you can just walk up a little hill like this. It's not very steep, but normally, you know, you'd have to herringbone, or you'd have to sidestep, or you'd have to put some skins on. And these guys, because it's got the integrated skins that are set in a little bit so they don't slow you down any, you can just walk straight up the hill. Pretty awesome. There we go. Easy peasy. And that is what makes them so good for kind of hilly terrain. Yeah, I think I'd rather go on my skis. So here are the hawks. I've got a binding here that allows you to use any soft boot, and it's important that the boot is soft, or else the binding will be very unhappy. So will you. So here's the mechanism, and then in here I have a, you can't really see it. Okay. So this is HOKSKI, Altai Hok, based on skis from the Altai Mountains, in fact. This one is set up with a very easy binding, so you can put any kind of shoe in this, especially soft shoes. It's not obviously that great then for lots of downhill control. Here the rest of the binding is kind of like a snowboard binding, and then the binding just lifts up like this. It has got steel edges, so if you were to put a like a 75mm binding on that, you'd have a lot of control. And then underneath here is this real secret sauce, which is a skin, but it's permanently on there, and it's slightly recessed into the bottom of the ski, into the base of the ski, so that it doesn't slow you down too much. So it sort of works like a snowshoe, but also like a ski, and there are people who ski down pretty steep stuff in these, and in fact I'm probably going to put a 75mm binding on this, on one of the two pairs that I've got, to improve the downhill performance. But I'll tell you what, pretty good today. Glad I have these. These are just marvellous, marvellous ways of getting around in snowy, rolling countryside. Plenty of flotation, reasonably light, in fact they're very light, and just no faffing about.